So I read in the notes that you guys started coming up with the idea to write it when you first met, but was there any one point where you said, like, now is the right time to actually sit down and do it for real?
Yeah, that's when we sat down and did it for real. No, there was a time, I think we were standing on the corner of 10th Street and First Avenue.
Yeah.
Right by the church, St. Mark's
kind
Church.
of in LA though. He doesn't like to remember that, but I got really bummed out in LA. And like we just really were feeling like we've been talking and talking about doing this, and as soon as we got back to New York, we started getting motivated to start to write something. When you agree, I mean, we were in LA kind of banging around.
Yeah,
for
we
a
answered
pilot
the question.
season,
Well, we can
and-
move on. Yeah.
How much did the script change from first draft back then to what we see on screen now?
Oh my lord.
A lot.
Oh my lord. There was an ongoing thing where it's like, I think we were up to like draft 8, maybe not draft 8, but it's like, well, remember in the first draft when it was a little better, when it was like this? Can we go back to that thing in the first draft? So it was like a toggling back and forth of, so it changed a lot.
The answer is a lot.
Yeah,
and we workshopped it with these guys along the way, so it changed, and then we workshopped it with Adam.
What was really weird is when I came on board, it was all about hobbits. And then,
I looked at your Twitter account before I came here, and
Uh-oh.
I kind of want you to direct the next Hobbit movie.
I'm going to direct the Hobbit
I want to
movie.
see a domestic Hobbit movie.
I think we all would have been ears
I'll do it.
and hairy feet. No, it changed a little bit when I got on board, but it was only about like bringing out the things that were already there. It was really fun to work with these guys, and I don't know, it wasn't much that I did there. It was just more about conducting a round table of like how we could bring out the assets of what was already there, and that was really fun. And then I started hanging out with them too, and then we just found a lot of stuff. It was really fun.
So what was the process once you had a finished script? Did you have the resources you needed to go in and actually shoot it?
We had no resources.
Well, we went through a few directors.
Yeah, we went to, first person to read it was Marisa, and she liked it. And so then our phone calls started to be answered. Before that, it was silence.
Sam wouldn't call them back.
No, even Sam would call back.
We had to get Marissa to say, hey, I read the thing, it's okay,
Hey,
you
Sam,
can read
can
it.
call them.
We finally came to our senses and we got Adam to be the captain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you all knew each other, or like someone knew someone at least when you went into this?
We knew each other a little bit, yeah.
We all kind of knew each other, actually. Yeah, we all did. It's weird how I know Adam a long time. And
Yeah,
Marissa.
and
We
I
all live in the same neighborhood.
We all like live around each other, and I'd seen Marissa's work for years and admired her for years, and I'd admired Sam's work, and Ivan and I worked together a long time ago on a film. Michael and I were the only ones who didn't really know each other, but I'd seen him walking around my neighborhood a lot, and I admired his clothes.
Oh.
He was a big admirer of his
No,
plays.
it was kind of
playwriting.
it was kind of a love fest in the beginning, and
Adam's-
we had to get over that.
Adams, as a playwright, he added a lot to the process because of just Mike and Ivan trying to find their voice and stuff, and it was great. It was really cool.
How was it for you taking this on? I've never seen your past films. Is this very different from what you've done?
Well, the only thing was different was that it wasn't my work, so I had to be, and I'm used to, and I've directed other people's work in the theater, so I had to be kind of more of a, it's going to sound really corny, but like a shepherd of the work, as opposed to...
Is that kind of liberating to kind
Yeah,
of...
it really was, and it was really fun to try to create a safe space for that to happen, and we did. I think we had a lot of fun, and actually shooting it was the most fun I've ever had on a set, and I think probably is because it wasn't mine, so it wasn't so hung up on perfection, or it was really about letting them, creating the right dance floor for these folks, and if you do that with these people, you're going to have really exciting stuff happen.
We also stayed at a very cool motor lodge.
Where did you shoot it?
Palachi's.
That's where we stayed. We
The
shot
Catskills.
in Leeds.
Leeds, New York, yeah.
Leeds, New York.
It's an interesting place to spend a chunk of your life.
Yeah.
Close to where Mike Tyson made his
Used to
bones.
train, yeah.
It's actually just there in that
were-
gym a
yeah.
couple
You
weeks.
were?
Yeah, how was
Let's
that?
talk about
What?
that.
It's a pretty cool gym. It's right in the
Wow.
town of Catskill,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
above the police station
Yeah.
or
We
like
tried to
the
get in, it
town
was closed.
office.
It was closed, but they were
Yeah.
like, Mike was just here last week.
Yeah.
I've got like the inside info. I'll give you
Okay, we'll
contact.
We'll talk after. Yeah.
What about that house? Is there a reason you chose that house?
There is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that house actually belongs to a friend of ours, and we did a substantial amount of writing in that house.
But isn't her
I-
name Gigi?
And her name
Her
is
name
Gigi.
is Gigi.
Also,
And
so-
she
oh,
did
yeah.
own a thrift store called
Yeah.
Atomic Passion.
All
Yeah.
that stuff you see in
Yeah.
the house is hers. Also, she doesn't know a lot about movies, so she wasn't hip to the fact that our place might get trashed a little bit. But we did compensate her with some fences and trees.
Was there any kind of like a freak out moment when maybe a truck of people and equipment pulled up?
Well, there was someone's foot went through her porch. That got her pretty angry. But that thing was falling apart anyway.
But it's immortalized now.
immortalized,
It's all good,
yeah.
and it looks beautiful.
Yeah, it
She
looks
was
great.
happy to do it. She's a really cool
yeah,
gal. She was happy to have us in
Yeah.
there. I think when we were writing there, she started to be like, "Hey, man, you guys are coming
Yeah.
up a lot of weekends."
They go up, they'd write there, and the whole place, that inspired them.
Yeah, we were
Tied it
really,
right in.
yeah, we were inspired by the house and even by her coming and going. Like we'd get on a roll and she'd show up and it's like, hey.
There was
She's
a
like,
little
yeah,
bit.
I live here. By the way, so like I'm gonna make a cup of coffee. That's cool. Do your thing, man. Whatever you want to do, you should do it.
She should have had some
Quickly.
sort of cameo. Like, I don't know, like a neighbor walking in the background or something.
Yeah, she didn't want one. We were gonna. Yeah, no, that's a lie. We didn't offer her one. But,
Mrs. Palaci has a cameo.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And now, can you guys tell me a little bit about the rehearsal process? Was there time to rehearse
Yeah, it was
and kind
fun.
of shape the material before
It
you
was
got
a
up
lot
there?
of fun. We did it at Adam's apartment, my apartment, Marissa's apartment maybe once or
Oh
twice.
yeah, we did. We read through.
We
Yeah,
read through it.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
And there's a in the loose.
Brian took his shirt off.
There's a looseness that feels loose in the like when you watch the film, it feels like it's loose and ad libbed. But that was all. There's some of that, but it's mostly really meticulously scripted, and it's because they have that great energy and great looseness with each other. So I think sometimes that could be misunderstood as being just like a lot of freedom on set, but it actually was rehearsed and it was discovered that way.
Is there a lot of backstory either you guys wrote or maybe you two came up with yourself that we don't see in the final cut? Because I mean, it feels like these feel like very real people. So I walked out satisfied with what I got, but it does make me want to know, how did they meet? Like,
Yeah.
what's the relationship like
There's a lot of
beforehand?
stuff.
A little bit, yeah, we
Yeah.
talked about it a little bit.
There's stuff and there's stuff that we couldn't, whatever didn't get fit into the film or whatever things that we really loved but got cut out of drafts. But we worked with these guys pretty extensively through the rewrite process, and so we were already having what is, they were writing workshops, but they were rehearsals too, and we were getting things from them and then go off and write and put them in. So when Adam came in, he was, conducting then rehearsals of things that they were familiar with, we were all familiar with, and there was stuff that we had to weed out. But yeah, we worked out these histories and stories and his military career and her, that stuff came up.
Any fun details you guys can share that maybe helped you really like bring the character together?
Michael can imitate. Michael
You can do
can
all of their
imitate
voices.
all their voices. He's like a mimic.
Really?
And so when he
Yeah.
was imagining Sam or he was imagining Brian in a scene,
Yeah.
he would just become them.
Do
if
Brian.
They weren't there.
Do Brian. Do
I
Brian.
can't do them because they're
Do
in front
Brian.
of
No,
me,
no,
so-
but Brian's not here. Do Brian.
I would do Brian, like we would be writing and it's like, oh dude, my dad called me this week, it's like, this is like he was getting this thing, it's like a whole story. So dude's like, check it out dude, like the swell was insane this weekend. I went and then it's like, I'm figuring I'm gonna go over to Malibu, whatever, I might buy a beach house, but like, yo, what's up with Ivan, dude? You guys like chilling out? You guys like started writing? It's like, dude, I heard like Adam Rapp might direct this thing. That guy's fucking awesome, dude. It's like, yeah, dude, I might text Sam later, man. Like, what's up?
Pretty accurate. I like
Bravo.
Yeah, dude.
that. You could do like a whole one-man show.
Yeah, we used to do it, and Ivan would like, I would get on a tangent where I'd be doing like a scene with, Sam and me, and then Ivan would like be doing it and recording and opening a beer and handing it to me. He's like, just keep going. Sam, does that get you angry when that, and so it's a fun way to work. So
What was the environment like on set here? Because I was looking at the cast and the crew list, and it's not the
Drunk.
biggest
We were all
company ever.
drunk.
Nothing wrong with that.
We're a little bit.
Wasted.
No,
A little bit. We just
No,
had the
it
night
was-
of
it
the
was
only the
near
night of
beer.
the dance scene. That was a little bit.
What was
tequila.
So real alcohol in all the cups that you're drinking, not like food
we had to be
coloring.
careful with that.
Yeah, we were
careful with that, but we
What
had a
was it
little
like
bit.
on set?
It was
These
fun.
guys
Ivan
have told
kept
me-
worrying about me, and he's like,
Yeah.
"You can't drink them." I don't know what I'm doing.
it was like,
Let these guys speak. They've done more. I mean, I feel like it was. For me, it was. A
Let
brawl.
Michael speak, Ivan.
this is what we got. This is what we got to top. This is what we got to do.
This is the genesis
These guys
of
told
It was
me
really
that-
cool.
Yeah,
It was
Oscar
really fun.
Felix relationship. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It was really fun.
I was getting a little nervous for you when you bust out, like, I don't know what kind of glass is it, but you like take shots out of it, and I'm like, you're not supposed to take shots out of that kind of glass. I hope-
that kind of glass.
I hope that's
You
water.
didn't like the protocol on the glass.
tequila-
What kind of glass?
tequila
What
spritz
kind?
is
It was a pretty
Barkeeper.
like significantly sized wine glass. That's not how that works.
We had a couple of real shots, and then we had water, and but we had to keep it in that bag.
It was fun.
Yeah,
It was really
yeah.
fun.
No, it was
And
just-
it felt. I'm gonna get in trouble saying this, and I'll take the full blame. But sometimes it felt like we were making a movie, but we were also at a really good summer camp for adults.
Well,
Without sex. There
It
was no
feels
sex.
that way while you're watching it.
There
Like
was a
the
little sex,
movie
but
ends and
none
you
of us
don't
had
want
it.
None of us had sex. I tried to
think
have
the
sex
younger
with Sam.
people had
He turned me
sex.
down several times.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about the process of bringing this to Tribeca and acquiring distribution and just kind of like selling it to people too? Because, I mean, this industry, obviously, if there's no explosions and things like that, it's hard to get it out there, but this is completely different and it feels like a real world and a real group of people you can kind of live with for 80 minutes and you don't want it to end. So how do you approach maybe making viewers who might not gravitate towards something like
Well,
that see it?
VOD's the new way now. That's how they're doing it these days. That's really the answer to that question. I think VOD's taken over, and that's how they make their money back.
But
So
you're
we're
sa-
doing both, the theatrical and the VOD.
But you're
Yeah.
saying you can get it to the people that have a liking for that kind of thing and leave the explosions in the theater more often. Jeffrey
I see.
Gilmore at Tribeca was a big
Yeah, he
supporter of the
was.
film. He's seen a lot of movies in his time, both at Sundance and Tribeca, and he saw it and he was the one who really championed it, and he, along with Parts and Labor, made it possible, I think, for it to have the life that it's having now. He really he did a lot.
Yeah, it's fun to see a film like this get embraced, and this what Sam was kind of getting at a little bit is that right now we're in a culture where you can curate your own, list of movies you want to watch. People are watching them on their televisions at home and on their computers, and you don't need to go. You can have your own experience. You can be your own artistic director in a weird way. So I think there's a greater chance of a film like this finding an audience, which is a great thing, and hopefully they'll see it projected because it's beautifully shot and the performances are large and big, and they deserve to be seen in that way. But I'm just glad that it's like it's going to find its way because now we have that technology and it's exciting.
We were at a point where we didn't have all the money. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we had Lars and everybody, and then a guy named Keith Carville stepped in and kind of saved the day a little bit. I think with bringing in some more money. So sometimes it takes a village.
All right, now before I get kicked out, I must ask, because I'm obsessed with Poltergeist. I grew up watching it since I was like way too little, and I've been just waiting for it, and obviously it got pushed a little bit, so I was wondering if you've seen any of it.
I haven't seen, I've seen a little in looping. I hope it's good. I really don't know. I really wish I could tell you. I'm praying that it's going to be hard to live up to the first one. The first one's pretty damn good, This one's going to be in 3D, though, I can tell you that.
That's
This one has
something.
you. It's gonna be,
Yeah, it's got-
gonna be 3D.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
It's cool,
Isn't
right?
the guy from,
Yes.
the guy from Coach is in it, right? The guy from Coach? What's his name?
Craig T.
Craig T.
Nelson.
Nelson. Are you playing that character?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
I think you were saying
And
he's
Jane
in it.
Addams is in it.
No, he's in the
I'm
original.
playing his part.
You're
yeah.
playing his part,
Oh.
right.
I actually talked to him and Joe Beth Williams.
How far do they go with the reimagining idea? Is it a
Well,
completely
it's more of a
different
kid's
narrative?
movie this time. It's more of a kid. What'd you say?
Is the narrative completely different minus like kind of what sparks the whole situation?
It's a little different. It's really the 12-year-old or the 10-year-old boy is really the protagonist this time. Joe Beth Williams was the protagonist for the most part in the first one, and now the kid it's really through his point of view. So it's more of a kid's movie. So I don't know if it's going to be like rated R scary.
I was gonna say like PG-13 kids movie, I guess.
Yeah, it's not like Conjuring type of scare. It's a different kind of movie. It's more of an adventure. It's essentially a child abduction film, when you come down to it. I mean, it's the original Poltergeist is too.